to try to make these negotiations more productive use of our time, we developed an agenda that we'd like to follow today.
Okay.
So I'll pass that over to you guys. You're down there. 2, 3, 4, 5.
Sorry. I apologize. There's water.
Thank you.
So the first thing that we were hoping to do was to look at the calendar and schedule some more meetings with the understanding that we need these meetings to be later in the day or in the evening. We're pulling out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people, and you have principals on your team that are being pulled out from their schools as well. So we would like to schedule some evening meetings. Additionally, our teachers want to be able to attend the sessions and see what's going on in this public meeting other than our videos.
Okay. What dates are you looking?
I'll do one better. I think it's Wednesday.
Okay, well, we'll see how that goes today, but let's put this on the calendar. I'll stay optimistic. And, all right. So today is the 14th. Well, I'm looking at the 27th or 28th.
So the 27th, I cannot do.
Mhm.
I have an appointment that afternoon.
Plus we have board meetings on the 26th. I don't really care to stay midnight each night.
How about September 2nd?
Okay.
So, say 5 to 8,
Okay.
and we can do it we'd be more than happy to do it at BFT, especially after walking a half a mile today to.
What's going on
Yeah,
here?
what is going on today?
Support specialist.
Oh,
Specialist
okay.
training, so hopefully, all right, I'll look and see what we have available at 5 o'clock. We'll be able to park right up front. But I'll look and see what we have. Do you want to look at more dates or?
Well, how about September 10th?
Okay, in the evening again?
Okay. That's a Wednesday.
I'd rather not do it on a Wednesday.
How about the 11th?
The 11th, we have leadership team meeting that day
We can do it at night, 5 o'clock.
at 5. Is that, you're
Yep.
still looking at night?
Yep.
Okay.
All right. Why don't we just leave those
Okay.
two so we have something?
Okay, I'll look and see what we have.
All right, appreciate that. All right, so next thing we have on the agenda is we've kind of compiled where we're at and what's up in the air and what's not. So far, on your proposals, we have 14 TAs. On our proposals, you guys have agreed to 3 of them. And there are 30 proposals on the table right now. And we've done our best to capture what action is next, like who's supposed to be doing what with each proposal.
Okay.
So would you like a copy of that?
Yeah, I also have one. I don't have my computer. It's on my desk, but I've been tracking.
All right, well, why don't I give just a copy to you,
Yeah.
and then you can,
I can compare it and
yeah,
if we're off.
and I'm gonna give it to my team. All right. Do you have any questions?
No.
All right, so then the first thing that we wanted to talk about was the psychologist pay. This is an urgent matter that we need to get figured out. Our psychologists really don't know what their next paycheck is going to look like, which is a concerning matter. We thought that we had come to an agreement at the table. We thought we had a pretty much handshake agreement, and then apparently we didn't. So we want to just revisit what we thought was agreed to at the table back on July 9th. All right, so what we had passed forward, we had said the school psychologists will forfeit their non-bargaining employee advanced degree supplements and will receive the appropriate advanced degree supplements as part of the CBA. We don't even think that should be a question. They are covered under this contract, and that's what they say they get. That's what the CBA says everyone in the unit receives for their advanced degree. So we're not even sure why or what the argument with that could be. All right. And then we asked for the $6,200 supplement. And you guys said you were going to think about the supplement. And also we agreed that they would be moved from the non-bargaining millage to the bargaining millage.
So you, this was a counter, or your proposal number 14. This is our counter to that proposal, agreeing that school psychologist will be a part of the collective bargaining agreement, and for the collective bargaining agreement that they will receive the advanced degrees based on the CBA. Advanced degree supplements will be paid for degrees earned beyond the job description requirements, just as we pay everybody else.
Well, first of all, we were thinking more about that. That's not entirely accurate. There are other people who are required to have master's degrees in our unit, school counselors being one of them.
And do not get the advanced degree supplement.
Yes, they do.
If they have an educational specialist or a doctorate, they get the difference between or beyond, or they do not get a master's degree supplement.
That's the first I've ever heard of that in the decade. So there are other folks that in the unit as well that we believe are required to have the degree. Secondly, what you're proposing, and let's just be clear, is that you're asking the psychologist to take a pay cut. You're asking a group of employees who went through a rigorous process to become union members, and they stood together and voted unanimously to join the union because their pay was lagging so far behind other districts. So your response to that is we're going to give them less money than they're making. I just, it's not going to happen. We're not going to agree to that. So we reject your proposal, your counter proposal. We're not going to allow this.
$6,200.
We're not going to allow the psychologist to go backwards in pay.
So they agreed to be part of your bargaining unit. And I would like to know, if you have names, we can certainly check out guidance counselors, but it is part of the contract, and it is how we've always done things, that if you are required to have a master's degree for your job, that you get what is above and beyond the required degree, meaning an educational specialist or a master's degree. That's the way we have always done this process, and so if you have information that we...
Rosemary, that's not fair. You're the one who has access to that information.
Well,
You,
we can run it,
you
yes,
could have
but
pulled all those that for
I'm
me.
telling
I
you
don't
that
have
you have
access to people's
Ms.
salaries.
Brooks, are SLPs required to have a master's degree?
Speech language pathologists are required to have a
Right.
master's degree.
Do that, so do the SLPs?
The SLPs get a master's degree, the master's degree supplement, that is correct.
What is, give me a name of a SLP.
Jenny Carter. So it's interesting that we're having this conversation about requiring a master's degree. My thought process is if your job requires you to have a master's degree, maybe your master's degree supplement should be a little more than the regular master's degree supplement. That's a whole nother.
Well, that's what we do for job placements and non-bargaining. We place them higher.
But SLPs are required to have a master's, and yes, they do receive the master's degree supplement, as well as school guidance counselors receive the master's degree supplement, occupational therapists, physical therapists receive the master's degree supplement, doctorate supplement, etc. I can only speak on behalf of the allied health professionals like SLPs or PPTs. So yes, they do receive the master's degree supplement, and have since I have for the past 29 years.
Stand by. What screen is that?
It's about $2,700 for that master's degree supplement. If you have a master's degree, you're given about $2,700 for that. If you don't hold a master's degree, you can't work.
Do we need to call an IT guy?
No, I got people in my office. Supplements.
Go to.
If I go, hold on, let's go 2025. So what's the other supplement? Because that's just millage.
Yeah, go to the vitamins. I'll just pull out like a paycheck for 2025.
Just like this one.
Yeah, that's good. Just pay every.
Yeah.
And we got an F11.
Right.
I hate this computer so much.
Yes.
Sounds like it doesn't like you very much either.
I can't get to work. All right, reject that, move on. I'll get more data. What was her name again? I'm sorry.
It's my sister and I.
That's fine.
Jenny Carter. She's at Roy Allen in Title I.
No worries. 'Cause I'll bring it up. All I can see is her millage supplement. I can't see.
Strength in the family now.
So also I had a question too about if you're agreeing to the $6,200 supplement, are you still is that is that going to be in the contract, or is that 5,200 from millage and 1,000 from?
Just like we do the SLPs, OTs, PTs, CBAs, it's $1,000 coming from operating and 6,200 or 5,200.
So I mean, beyond next year, they might not even receive that if we agree to it. So.
Well, that's always a possibility with every supplement that we negotiated, and it's a possibility for every person.
Can I ask a question? Just for clarification, I think I understand. You mentioned before that for the advanced degree supplements, if they have something beyond a master's degree, let's say they have a doctorate, you would back the master's stipend out of the amount of the doctorate supplement? And just give them the difference?
With our supplement person,
Yeah.
it's my understanding that they,
I can't imagine, just frankly, just out of ignorance, I can't imagine that to be true. If a master's, let's say, gets $3,000 supplement, and a PhD gets a $5,000 supplement.
no, I
If you're
understand where
backing
you're
out
going.
the 3, then the PhD only gets 2.
I understand what you're saying.
Okay.
I don't want to misspeak.
Okay.
I would like to make sure that I
Thank you.
actually have the correct
So,
term.
do you have a,
Thank
I can answer your question. Do you have let me see the contract. So, here's the idea. Sorry. So on page 54 of our contract, the way we do this for non-bargaining and all the things, right? So it's the difference between, you get the difference between the masters, the specialists and the masters. So if you have a specialist, you don't get the full 4,000, you get the 4,000 minus the 2,730, which is, I think it's like 1,352 or something like that, if I remember right. Something like that. So in your supplement, you'll see the 1,352. Okay, what we're saying, and I'm not sure if this is
That's for non-bargaining folks, right?
right.
I think we do it differently.
Just hear me out. I think we're going to pass something. Actually, you've already rejected this. Cool. We're gonna move. I'd like to move on to something else, which is the same thing. So we can talk about it with the supplements.
Are we talking about psychologists?
No, you've already rejected that. Cool. Got it. But there's
Okay.
something here that I think is relevant that I think you'll agree to. We'd like to talk
So
about
I
it.
just want to ask you this, because I think the issue is we're coming from two different places, right? Our value is we feel like they should start by being made whole where they are now and then get a supplement. And that makes them comparable to other school districts. I recently looked at all their pay. In some cases, they're getting paid less than 10-month psychologists, right? So that's our value. Keep them where they're at and then add to it. The district value seems to be, let's find a way to make their pay less.
Not make their pay less, follow the contract.
But you're not following the contract because advanced degree language
Well,
is what it is.
we'll
And
check
you've not
see.
provided evidence that that's not the case, and I've never heard that to be the case, that these people don't, in our unit, are required to have degrees.
Got it. You rejected it. Let's move on.
Okay. And I do want to say this, how many vacancies are there? 8 vacancies, and can you tell them why there's 8 vacancies right now?
We had highly qualified interns that were ready to come here, and because of HR issues, they were misquoted salaries, and they immediately went elsewhere, and they can get paid significantly more as first years. First year school psychologist in Volusia County makes more than I do as a 10-year plus employee.
I would say that that's just this year's concerns. We've been way more concerned over the years about we continue to lose people to surrounding counties.
Well, I know we corrected at least 2 of the interns when the salary was corrected. We contacted them, we reached out to them, they had the correct information. The other 2 I do not know about, but I do know that 2 were corrected.
And did they decide to stay with you guys when they were corrected?
I don't know what their reasoning is.
Yeah, the answer is no, because they see what
They absolutely.
they
told you
they
that
don't
was-
feel valued.
Okay,
Right.
next.
That's why people join
Next.
the union.
So are or do you want to?
Sticking to the agenda, for quite some time now, I've been asking for this, how much our Kota and Potas get paid, so we can add them into our contract. They are in our bargaining unit. We've had this issue where for some reason years ago they had a separate contract. We want to make sure that they get in the units.
I don't know. I can tell you how much Kotas and Potas are paid. We have 2 right now. Currently. Two right now that are paid, in between 28.98 and 29.42. You'll see their pay hourly right there.
So I know Ms. Dampiera has wanted to advertise this position. What is the starting pay on this?
I don't think that's been,
It hasn't been
that
determined.
position to add to has not been authorized. So there is no.
All right. In the conversations we had with Ms. Dampier, she's trying to keep all options open to make sure students are receiving their services. So if we put this in our contract, we have to have some kind of starting pay in there. So
Don't have that,
okay.
because I don't know that we're looking to add any more positions.
So, well, I'll put a proposal in there that starts their pay at $27.76. If I can't get a better answer than that.
I mean, there is a salary schedule that's currently in the old document. I can pull it, and it's currently in there. Which is what these employees were based off of.
What year is that? 08 or?
Oh, yeah, I think it's 08, 09, possibly.
All right. All right, and then the next thing, we're gonna counter the CTE MOU you gave us about the on-the-job training.
WELP, well, what CTE calls it. The 1 to 5 students assigned?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks so much.
So it is not the amounts that we're countering. We understand it's a starting place with the amounts, and obviously more than what they're getting now, which is nothing. But talking to our CTE teachers, the concern was they just wanted to better outline what this role consists of, right? To say, if you're doing the supplement, if you're getting the supplement, this is what you're doing, and these are the things that are not your responsibility. Otherwise, it potentially can become a second full-time job.
So I will have to go back to our CTE program. It's my understanding that the 500 and the 750 are coming strictly out of gate funds, which was not factored into that. But I will go back to the CTE program.
Well, that was on your proposal or on Rachel's proposal where it
Oh, I'm
said.
sorry, you're right, it's there.
That said millage.
I'm
So,
sorry,
but
you're
it
correct.
really, the sections is the teacher receiving this supplement shall, and
Okay,
the teacher receiving this supplement shall not be required.
I'm not well versed on CTE, so
Yeah, I expected
will,
that to go to that department.
let me send that to her for her to review.
Okay, and then on the agenda, next we're asking you guys to respond to some of our outstanding proposals.
Ready?
Which proposal are you going to?
We'll start with number 2. Your proposal number 2.
Homebound instruction,
Yes.
and that should be.
Sorry. No, thank you. So, you passed, BFT passed this again on August 7th. We are countering, keeping with our same consistency that we will offer $15 per ride for extra duty transportation, and we have now offered an hourly rate for hospital homebound.
All right, well, it's nice to see some movement here, especially on the homebound instruction. Just trying to understand where you guys are coming from with this $15, right? I'm being told by teachers that sometimes the rides take 2 hours. So they're getting paid $7.50 per hour. So do you have different information about these rides, or
So
is there somewhere I could get more? Because maybe this is an oddball situation where it's taking 2 hours, but.
So I don't know that we're going to have a lot of teachers that will be riding because we have bus attendants coming
Mhm.
as well as the instructional assistants according to student IEP. So I'm not sure why there's a high volume of teachers riding transportation buses.
So Rosemary, can I just, and here's we have, I think one of the biggest issues is at Gardendale with people riding buses. And, our comment back to the teachers there, because a lot of times teachers don't want to say no because, right, those are their students. They want them to be safe. They have a hard time saying no. And so we said back to them, if we're going to bring this to the bargaining table. If you don't want to ride the bus, just say no. You don't have to be martyrs in that situation. And that comment was thrown back to us in our face by somebody who not the principal of Gardendale, but the person above her. And so at this point, that's what we tell teachers, $15 a ride is abysmal. If we're being told that they're not going to have to do it, then those administrators should not be approaching them to ask them to do this. If that's what we're going to pay them, because at that point, the IAs and the bus monitors are making more than them to do that job. And that's just, that's unacceptable in and of itself.
So again, we have bus attendants that are coming. We also have IAs. We shouldn't have a lot of teachers riding the bus. I don't know. I can't speak for somebody that's over Gardendale. I wasn't part of the conversation, so.
But I'm bringing that specific situation to you so you can kind of better understand. If teachers are being asked to do this because there's a gap in, either the bus attendants aren't hired, somebody's out sick, somebody had an emergency, whatever's being, they shouldn't be feeling like they have to do it, which they do, and everybody has free will and choice to say no, and that's what I said, just say no, right? But then let's just say they say yes, they shouldn't be getting on that bus and making less money than the bus attendant that you're hiring to do the job, is what I'm saying to you.
And I hear you. I will go back to that person and speak with them, but.
Would you guys be willing to consider language that says, teachers shall not be allowed to perform extra duty transportation?
You can pass a counter proposal.
So.
Well, I
what was
mean,
the original
we
amount?
can't discuss
The
anything
original amount was
anymore.
8. No, you can. I can't.
So we doubled it, it's still not good enough?
It was $8 an hour, we went to 15.
No, not an hour.
That's
Per
my
ride.
question.
Sorry, per
Why
ride.
Per
is-
ride.
Why are we
Per
paying per ride and not per hour? I don't know of any other profession in BPS. Like, we don't pay our cafeteria personnel by the meals they make, right? So like, it's weird to me by the per ride, because I think it would solve Anthony's problem if we could agree on an hourly rate. Then it wouldn't matter if it's a 2-hour ride or a 45-minute ride.
So you could tell me what your counter could be, and I can just go back and seek direction, but I would have to seek direction other than this.
I'm,
I'm not saying that we're
I'm
not willing to
not-
look at a counter
yeah.
offer, I would need. to seek direction.
who's in charge of this, this bus riding for ESE students?
Why would, I believe it just depends on the school.
Well, but I mean, like,
It's
who are
all
you,
part of their IUPs.
who are you talking to is what I'm saying.
Well, I'm going to talk to the person
And
over
then Jared.
at Gardendale and Student Services.
All right.
Okay, you passed, your proposal, number 6. Again, I don't know if you want copies, but, we're going to reject that proposal again.
After I laid out which articles would apply to them,
Yes.
okay, why?
Summer school teachers are different. It's voluntary if you teach summer school. And adult ed is a different animal. We spoke with adult ed, and it was determined that, you know, their classes are not the same as a regular school assignment.
Okay, so really curious because that's completely the opposite conversation that I had when I was inquiring about adult ed. It was, no, this is exactly the same as what a classroom teacher does, except for maybe the hours sometimes. You know, so Rosemary, have you guys been providing leave to our summer school teachers?
Leave?
Yeah.
I don't know. I would have to let you check. I
I'd
honestly don't
like
have
an
an
answer to that as well.
I don't understand what you mean by leave.
Like a sick day or leave of absence.
Sick day.
No.
Well, you're in violation of the contract because they're supposed to be getting 1 day of sick leave.
It's a voluntary position. It's not classified as their regular permanent position.
Yeah, but it's in the contract.
Has one been denied?
I don't know. Yes, they've been not getting paid for their sick leave.
All right.
It's real.
Don't panic.
They still panicked.
Yep.
We got what's the contract?
Says on page 65, each full-time teacher who's selected to teach summer school shall be credited with 1 day of sick leave for each month of employment to be credited at the beginning of each month.
I trust if it hasn't happened, you'll grieve it.
I'm not sure what, are you saying that we're not providing it or?
You're not, but everything I know of is you've not provided that.
Well, we will look into it and see.
So we, just to be clear, you guys are, once again, not offering a counter that says, well, we think, you know, this is reasonable for summer school or adult ed. That, for instance, they have the right to due process, or they have the right to work in a safe working condition. So you guys just no counter, just, hey, you're in summer school, the ceiling's falling in on you, too bad, so sad. You have no right to do anything about this. Kid makes an accusation against you. You have no right to representation. That's what you're saying. I mean, I just shocked by the lack of counter offers.
We will look into the sick day and see what's going on with that. Your proposal number 7, or sorry, it was proposal number 7. I know we passed something before, however, we didn't have in there the, this is regarding the wetlands protection. When they're doing after duty hours. So I revised it to make sure that we include, and forgive me, I didn't print the entire thing, I just printed out the very last page of our update. Everything remains the same, but they will be compensated according to section E and I of the differentiated pay schedule. Section E is where they earn $15 when they're doing extra duty tickets, things like that. And then we will be adding the $500 supplement to section I with the understanding that teachers that perform the open gate duty, they must do at least 90% of the semester in order to receive the supplement.
What's the 90% threshold about?
So and then 90% of the student days per semester. So whatever, how many student days there are, 90% of those.
And so if they do 89% of the days because they got COVID and the flu, then they did 89 days and get 0? You know, we also passed a proposal about supplement proration, which we thought would handle issues like this.
I think that those are one-off situations, and that's something that does not belong in the collective bargaining agreement. I think that we've always been under the understanding that if you do the work, you get compensated, but we have to have some kind of parameter in there that prevents, you know, I did open gate for 2 weeks and now I went to $500.
Yeah,
one-offs, I think we can work with. And
so tell me why the proration is not something you guys are interested in.
we haven't gotten to that proposal, but if you want to skip ahead and go there, we can. We're going to reject that as well because it's something that's more of a standard operating procedure. Now, I will say that we will work to make sure that when somebody does resign or retire, that we catch that and prorate that before. So we're not going past the 30-day reporting period for FRS. But again, it's not something that we feel that it belongs in contract language. It's a standard operating practice.
Okay. So I beg to differ on that being a standard operating practice, but if it was a standard operating practice, I think it would behoove everyone to have it in writing so we can all know the procedure and we can inform our employees of this is the procedure for if you leave a supplemented position before finishing it. This is how it works. This is what happens.
Agreed.
Okay, you can agree to that proposal?
I agree that we're going to have that in writing, and I'll provide it to you.
Okay. Well, what proposal number is that?
It'll be a standard operating procedure.
Are we off this now?
Well, we'll look at it. Or unless somebody had a question.
81 days. So it's 90 days. So then that's.
So, I don't, that's. Go ahead. I'll ask about that anyway. Could I just ask, I think you changed the word volunteer to choose.
Mm-hmm.
What was your rationale behind
We're
that?
paying you a supplement.
Okay, got it. That's simple enough. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So.
Mr. Tuttle, I'm
Yeah.
confused.
I got another thing.
I'm confused. Last time you were here, you said you weren't, it was your place to talk.
Well, I had a chance to speak with my president today, so now I am. Got it. Thank you.
But now you're able to talk?
Clearly.
Got it.
So Anthony brought up a good point about this language here, and I understand your concern about just showing up 2 weeks, getting the full 500. So we're probably gonna, I haven't spoken in depth yet, bring back something, but maybe insert the words 9% of the student days that members or teachers are present at school, I guess. Because that eliminates the whole, hey, I was out with COVID, but I did it every single day I was here. Something like that. So anyway, just a thought.
Rosemary, I think we're trying in previous negotiations with other teams, we're able to have some dialogue, and that was helpful for us to generate counter proposals. And we're trying to generate some dialogue to engage in the negotiation process.
And I understand that, Anthony, but I have to caucus with our people. I have to seek direction, and without knowing what it is that you're going to counter, I'm not saying that we're not against, language coming forward. We certainly can look at it, just like when we pass language to you, you have to go back and consider and have thought.
I know, but I get sometimes it may be hard to discuss freely, but it's hard when every proposal, we're just trying to engage in dialogue to come to consensus and understanding, and everything is met with, basically, we have to go back to another team and look at it.
Well, sure. I mean, why is that unacceptable?
Because you're the chief negotiator.
understand
You
that,
are
but
supposed to be authorized to make decisions here.
I am authorized to make decisions when I have received directives that I have received. So if you're going to counter with something or you want something, then I need to go back and caucus. I need to get information so that when I go to seek a directive.
I wouldn't be surprised, but the directive from the school board is don't engage in conversation about these proposals.
I'm engaging in conversation. I want to give you information that is accurate, and if I don't have it, then I don't have it.
Well, as a chief negotiator on this side, I don't see it that way. I don't see that you're engaging in very little conversation, which is making it hard for us to understand where you guys are coming from.
We're coming from the point that we're giving somebody a supplement to do open gate. We want them to be there because it creates a hardship on the schools when they're not there to do open gate and they've committed that they're going to be there. So 90% was the rule that we came up with for the number of days per semester for student days. If you feel that that is too much, or you have a counter, we can look at that and see if it would work.
Can you explain why you chose 90%? Because I know a lot of our sites, I think the majority of them, the administrators are offering teachers who volunteer comp time, which comp time versus this proposal, which is basically 90 days a semester at 90% is 81 days, which means they're earning $6.17 per occurrence.
We'll pull the proposal. Move on to the next one.
Okay, so you're withdrawing
Ryan, I'm
that
just
proposal?
asking questions so we can caucus to generate the dialogue. So I don't know what that is about.
I know the hardship that it takes. Listen, we all know that the open gate, it's a lot of stress on everybody going into the school, out of school, multiple gates sometimes that are open, and created a supplement to do this so that at least if they're choosing to do the open gate, they get something.
And I understand that. I was just wondering where the 90% came from, just because that's a very low amount per occurrence of doing it. And I get it, like, because we've all been on campuses where this is happening, because if anytime we have to go to a high school campus, even if we're bringing lunch, like we know, that is a hardship. We've spoken to administrators about it. We understand that. I was just asking, that's what I wanted, where that 90% came from, because that seems that seems, yeah, well, it is
Arbitrary.
low. Like when we take, because, ultimately when we decide and both sides decide, hey, we've reached the best deal that we can, and we take it back to our members and they're looking at this, like they're not done, they're going to do this math too, right? So if the effort is to get people to do this and to be engaged and work together as a team, like
90% knowing that we need people to do this, and sometimes you might not be able to do open gate. Sometimes maybe you have a doctor's appointment and you're not going to be able to be there. Maybe you're transferring jobs and it takes you a few weeks to transfer, so you're not going to be at the school any longer.
Rosemary, this is just what we're saying. So if you do it for 80 days, you're going to get 0. 80 days is a big commitment. We're just trying to find something that is fair, right? Like you do 80 days of giving up that planning time in the morning, and then because you had COVID and the flu, which is not a rare occurrence come winter time, you're going to get 0. I mean,
again, I think we've been pretty good about when situations arise that we look at those one-offs, and I would agree that would not be fair. But again, that's more of a standard operating procedure, not something that is contractual, meaning that.
So is this written in board policy? Because
No,
it just seems like it's very arbitrary, and like, let's hope I catch Rosemary on a good day or Ryan on a good day, and they're going to be, agreeable to this. That's not how we operate.
So this note that's at the bottom, that language is not being proposed to go into the contract. That would be part of a standard operating procedure, and our standing operating procedures, whether I'm here next week or Mr. Dufresne is here next week, should stand because it's a standard operating procedure.
I would think a standard operating procedure would be proration of supplements. That's what I would think a standard operating procedure would be. But I don't really know what a standard operating procedure is. So I mean, that's not a world that we live in. We live in a contract, board policy, state statute, federal law, right? So, and I know you guys have tightened up in HR and a lot of stuff, but by your own admission, it's been, that's how we've always done it. That's, not saying that's how you want to do it, but that has been the standard operating procedure in HR. It's how we've always done it, or,
Well, in the HR world and business practices, standard operating procedures have a great deal of meaning. And we have been working the last couple of years to make sure that we have those processes in writing. And
so do you have that in writing that you could share with us?
I'm not supplement, that's not my part of HR, but I can certainly go back and see what they have.
Yeah, I'd love to see that the standard operating procedure is what's written down so I could share with my members.
Is that for all supplements, the standard operating procedure that you prorate, or what have you supplements?
So like I said in the beginning, we are going to make sure that we work to tighten that up when somebody leaves. The problem is when an employee is no longer with us. We just had one not too long ago that was caught. And when the person is gone more than 30 days, and we report that to FRS because we must report earnings. If we're beyond the 30 days, we're fined by FRS. So we will make sure that when a person leaves, that part of the standing operating procedure that we adhere to make sure that they're not part of a differentiated pay, and make sure that we catch that ahead of time. So therefore, we're not being penalized for late reporting, and the person is not being penalized for not being prorated.
So an example, for example, how I became the department chair for my department at my school was our department chair in social studies in my 3rd year left after doing it for a semester. She left after Christmas break, didn't come back in January. And so I became department chair. So in those
This past year?
no, years back.
Okay, I can't
And
speak to
I know,
this.
but it wasn't a prorated thing, but you're saying for situations like that,
So
it would be,
I hear you.
she would have gotten paid for the semester she was chair, and I would have gotten paid for the semester where I was chair.
I hear you. Not really a good example because we pay at the semesters, right? So it's more like if she left in March.
I recall it.
Just
I
hear me
believe
out.
it's
Just hear me
a
out.
supplement at the end of the year.
It is.
Yeah.
So
they
we
will-
have like sports supplements, we have,
You have fall and spring
Right,
sports,
right.
but things like the
Department
academic,
chair
It's all-
happens
it's all
at the-
post.
at the
it's all
end.
post unless it's, there's curricular,
Right.
extracurricular,
August paid
co-curricular,
and
right?
as a-
So
so that
it's,
would get prorated.
it's
So the answer is
So,
yes.
so if, with this new standard operating procedure or whatever, things like that would not happen with these year-long supplements.
Right,
It
so
would-
like one of the things we're gonna tighten up is, let's say you leave, right? If you leave, do we owe her
Are
any?
you pushing me out the
No,
door?
no. If we, do we owe her any money for any other things that she's doing? Make sure we pay that on her final paycheck, not at the
end of the
June.
year with those
Right,
year
right,
supplements
right.
and
Is it fair to say you guys don't have a standard operating procedure for these supplements and you've just been figuring them out as they arise?
In the
Because-
past, yes, I agree with that
Thank you for
statement.
your honesty, Ryan. And all we're asking is, we're not even arguing. We just want let's start with a counter, what you
That's-
guys do.
That's,
Like-
I said I agree with you earlier and I will provide that to you.
All right, thank you.
I agree
Then
with that
let's move
100%.
on and we'll
We
talk about
have been working, because it is frustrating.
Yeah.
And
It's
you're-
frustrating for us as well.
You are correct. There is a bunch of, that's the way we've always done it. And I have been fighting that since I
I
got here and I'm working
Give you
very
credit for
hard.
that.
I'm working very hard to make sure it's no longer that.
So this is your proposal number 8. We are going to reject that. When we caucused about this, we sought direction and it was understood that when we went to the 15 days of paid parental leave that, well, first it started with, I believe, 5 days, then we went to 15. That these days were created or agreed upon to help bridge the gap between short-term disability for families that were seeking short-term disability. Again, some of these are covered under FMLA, but we are going to reject it and let it stand that it is within 30 days of the delivery or adoption of a child.
So I hear your response, but it's not a response to the argument that we made, right? We understand this is new language. We understand what the previous language said. But the issue is this, once again, somebody has a child on June 30th. They can't return to school on the first day, August 2nd, because they're still on FMLA. They have to start using their leave days. Right? So they got to use all their leave up until they can return. And just for those folks in that situation on contract days would be given parental leave like the other employees are.
If it's within 30 days of the date of delivery or adoption of a child.
We know what the language says now, but I don't think you've answered the question as to what you're opposed to with this. What is your opposition to helping these women who mistime the delivery of their child to the end of June?
So you want us to go above and beyond to extend it beyond the 30 days?
for Rosemary, it's not like, and I feel like I've explained this for, when did we first present this, however many sessions ago. So I don't know how many times I can say it, May 19th. So every time we've talked about it since May 19th. This is not giving carte blanche to anybody and everybody that has a baby. This is, if you have a baby over the summer and you have the absolute misfortune to have something go wrong, to be, have to be out because your doctor says, yeah, no, you know, we know the typical time is 6 weeks, but you are not healed. You have to stay out a couple weeks. These women that are having babies, they are our newer teachers.
You could say the same for somebody having surgery. What is the difference between that and a parental leave?
We don't have language for certain. This is parental leave. We led the charge in the state. Other counties have copied us. We were very proud, both sides of the table, when we came to this language. This is just something that is going to just add to helping people choose to teach in Brevard County at the beginning of their career. And so let's just say that we're not going to do something that we should do for women. We'll just say that.
So Rosemary, I'm confused by that last statement you just said. Are we not allowed to propose anything that goes above and beyond our contract? Because everything that we propose, you say we can't do because it goes above and beyond what we already have.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying we're rejecting it because these things are covered under FMLA, short-term disability.
Stop. You don't get paid leave for FMLA. Stop misleading our teachers who are listening. You don't get paid.
So what if somebody has surgery over the summer?
This isn't about surgery.
It's the same concept.
It is not the same concept. This is in our parental leave.
I understand.
You know, Rosemary, if I had to go out for surgery right now, I'd have enough sick days to pay for it because I'm old now. I'm past childbearing age, and I've earned a lot of sick days. Our women who are, most of them, going to be in this situation, starting out their career, they have not probably earned enough money for that. Like that is just it's a disappointing argument.
Vanessa, it's inequitable too,
yes,
right? Because if you're out for 6 weeks, mid-year you're getting 15 days, all right? If Kate is out for 15 days at the start of the year, she's getting nothing. I mean, this isn't rocket science. This is
within 30 days. They get that time.
It's a simple concept, but the idea is they're not gaming the system because they are on FMLA, right? Like that's what you're suggesting. People are trying to game the system. No, they're on FMLA, so they're not cleared to return to work. It's not a choice. The doctor says no, you cannot return.
And if it's within the 30 days, they get those days.
We know what the contract language says now. We know what it says. That's why we brought a proposal to fix this little hiccup for the unfortunate people that fall into this situation.
If we give them, if they have their baby within 30 days and they cannot come to work because they haven't been cleared, we give them the time.
We understand that, right? That's 3 years old. This is the new proposal, which you've not given me a sufficient understanding of why you're rejecting it. I don't feel.
I think I have.
You think so?
Yes.
Because I bet you there's 5,000 teachers who think otherwise.
I mean, if it's a surgery related to a complication of that pregnancy, then I guess it would count.
Like an emergency
Yeah.
C-section where you almost bleed out and die.
Yeah.
I think we've given reason, and we're going to stay with the language as it is.
You've not given reason. You've repeated what the current contract language says over and over, but let's move on.
So this is regarding your proposal number 9. Again, we're going to reject that with the classroom coverage.
Oh man, I thought we were going to settle today.
I thought we were too. That's why I had hope and prayers.
Yeah.
And started positively.
And the intent that was negotiated previously works. Again, you know.
Move on.
So the rationale is you feel that our teachers have sufficient time and do not need any additional.
It was intended for classroom teachers, and it was intended to bridge the gap between teachers earning comp time due to having to cover for a planning period or taking on students due to the classroom split. It was intended for the classroom teachers, not all non-bargaining members of the bargaining unit.
Rosemary, you were doing exactly what you just did with the last proposal, is just tell us what the old contract language says. We know what this is a new proposal for 2025.
And we're rejecting it.
Okay, for the reason that it's
That we believe
new
that it's
and
just
something, something
You don't
more.
want me to say what it's in the contract for, but that's the reason why we're rejecting it. It was created for classroom teachers and to lessen some of the comp time that was being earned throughout the schools and overabundance of comp time, and to pay them for covering on their planning period, and that it.
Okay, thank you
goes
for
up
telling
there.
us what our old proposal was for in our old contract language.
we're
It'd be
gonna
nice
see
to know
what-
why you feel that our teachers are receiving sufficient pay for covering ESE classes for an entire year.
Don't put words in my mouth, Anthony. I know what you're doing. Really? I would hope that we could be a little bit more professional instead of being childish. So this is your proposal, or it was, yes, your proposal number 10 for the advanced degrees. We have countered that effective July 1, members of the bargaining unit shall be eligible to receive an advanced degree supplement regardless of their certification area. To qualify for this supplement, official transcripts verifying the conferred degree must be on file with Human Resources. The advanced degree shall no longer be used in setting of salary for members of the bargaining unit. Instead, compensation for eligible advanced degrees shall be provided solely through supplement. If an advanced degree is required for the member's current position, the advanced degree supplement shall only be paid for degrees earned beyond the minimum degree requirement outlined in this official job description. I would like to check on that since we had the conversation before. I don't know. Okay.
Anybody have any questions on this one?
Yeah, not yet.
Okay, we'll talk about it in caucus.
Your proposal number 11.
Wait, thought you were the chief negotiator. You can't make decisions at the table, you're at the caucus.
Yep.
Got it.
Your proposal number 11, we are going to reject that. We spoke with our principals on the bargaining team as well as principals out in the schools. And this is already being done as a practice within groups. I know Mr. Sherborne said that sometimes periodically through the semester, he'll have second grade meet, have a collaborative planning time. He'll have third grade meet. So principals can plan ahead for this with substitute teachers or provide coverage, and that it would be a hardship on the schools to allow teachers to have schedule this and to provide and determine the work that they're going to do on those days. So we are going to reject that.
So to clarify, you say that principals are doing this, but you don't want to put it in writing. Can you explain why?
I just explained to you why. Principals are already doing this, and it's the principal's
That's what I
choice.
asked you. If principals are already doing this, then why don't you want to put it in writing? So
Because
I don't
it's
want to
their
mandate it.
choice. I don't want to mandate something, or the district doesn't want to mandate something that, you know, it should be the prerogative of the principal when they want to do this and when they don't.
okay, so teachers' number one concern is that they don't have enough planning time, right? They don't have enough time to do what they need to do, right? Your teachers, this is what they're saying, and we're going to say, well, hope your principal gives you a day,
So-
maybe.
They don't plan on early release Fridays. They don't plan before and after school. They don't plan during their planning time.
So no, not always, as you should be aware, that's not always the case. Sometimes it's only 2 days a week that they get planning time. So they do not feel like it's adequate amount of planning time. If you go into the schools and you talk to the teachers and you have an honest conversation with them, they will tell you that.
So we're gonna reject it. You passed a proposal again regarding the health insurance plan for the gold plan. We do not have a response for that today. There are a lot of things that are going on behind the scenes with the inception of fleet and contracts, things of that nature. We will have a response. It will just take some time to see where some of that lands.
So the gold plan and the silver plan proposal, or just the gold plan proposal?
Either.
Right.
I
For
just,
both of them?
yeah, we're gonna take a look at, we're gonna take a look at both of them. I can't give you an honest answer without knowing all the things that are coming.
So what's the deadline for being able to negotiate health insurance before open
Yeah, I
enrollment?
mean, I absolutely know we're up against the wall. I absolutely know we're against the wall. We're daily working on it.
Well, I mean, because next session's a couple weeks away, right? Because
I'm aware.
this is not my first rodeo. I know how this works, right? Then it's,
I'm aware.
hey, we don't have time to do this year. And Ryan, like when we sat on that Cigna presentation, you really caught on to that as well. I'll give you credit for that. That our for each claim, our employees are paying 6% higher than than districts throughout the state of Florida.
Correct.
So what I was saying is now backed by Cigna's data that says, hey, Brevard, you pay more for your copays and deductibles and coinsurance than other districts do. So, you know,
I'm aware, and you
Well-
just have to take my word for it. We're working daily to get you an answer on that. I would like to see if we can move something on that for you. But like I said, you know, the fleet is a $1.6 million. The cancer care is a $600,000, all at no cost to members that the district is taking on. I get it, I understand, and I'm trying to make it something. I'm trying to find something where we can land in the middle for sure.
well,
I'm well aware that open enrollment's coming and I have to have an answer and ratified and all that stuff before. I'm
I
aware.
would argue that what I proposed was landing in the middle. That's,
I mean, you went back to
We
2
didn't go all
years
the way
ago.
back.
no,
That
we
was
did not go back to 2 years
No.
ago, went back to last year.
halfway back, like not even,
I promise I'm working on it.
Okay,
we tried to be reasonable.
I promise I'm working on it.
So your proposal number 12, I think we talked about this briefly before with the standard operating procedure. We're going to reject this. We're working on tightening those up.
so you said you're gonna bring us the written standard operating procedure for us to
I will.
look at.
That's a fair ask.
Your proposal number 13 regarding department heads shall not be responsible for writing lesson plans, grading student work, and putting grades due to vacancy of relief of teachers. We're going to reject that.
Can you tell us why you're gonna reject that?
After speaking with our principals out in schools and members of the bargaining team, they receive a supplement, you know, for being department head, and we haven't been aware that this has been an issue, and it's not something that belongs in contract.
So I'd love to see what the contract that you write has in it, Rosemary.
It would be a
So,
lot different than this one.
Yeah, I know. know that for sure. So principals, you expect your department heads to write lesson plans if somebody goes out on maternity leave?
I have an idea. And I can't take credit for it, but it is an idea that someone brought to me. How about BFT says, hey, join the union. We have a whole stack of lesson plans that you guys can use for blah, 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 and it could be a recruiting tool for you.
Well, in my conversations with the curriculum folks, they already have those lesson plan banks, and they were like, yeah, this isn't an issue. So
then what's the issue?
Well, the issue is.
So the onesie twos that don't have it.
The principals are making some of them write the lesson plans, whereas we could point to that contract language and say, no, there's a lesson plan bank that the curriculum folks have created, and go to the bank. So, I mean, I don't know all right, so you're going to agree to the proposal?
No.
So Rosemary, I just want to, you said, this hasn't been an issue. It is an issue because that's why we brought it to the table. And, here's the thing, like, I don't want to be in the practice of telling people to quit doing something, right? But when teachers, department heads are calling me crying because every 5 seconds, like, they get somebody hired and then somebody else quits, they're basically teaching more than 7 out of 7. They're trying to take everything on. In this particular situation that I'm talking about, this principal is actually giving her comp time, and she said the comp time isn't even worth the stress that I'm under, and my students aren't even getting the best of me because I'm having to do these other things. This is something that it has become an issue, and not necessarily was in the past. Department heads in the past were not necessarily doing this, but because there are so many vacancies on a regular basis, especially at our high need schools. So I would reach out to the principals that serve at high need schools to see how this affects them. It is a drain. And in some of these cases, I'm like, well, listen, if you're crying and you're having this much heartache, you've got to go to your principal and say, I cannot be the department head anymore. And other people are not going to step up to the plate to do it when they see that this is, the role has taken on something more than itself. And to sit there and say this is not an issue, you don't know that it's not an issue.
I would be interested to hear who this person is.
Absolutely, for sure. We can connect after this. I'm not going to call her out on a live bargaining tape. And actually, I have several examples that I am sure are willing to talk to you.
Let's hear them.
Yeah.
Great. So, do you have any other counters?
I do. I have one more.
Okay.
This is a counter to, it was our proposal.
Oh, sorry.
Thank you. Proposal 31. We offered a 2% raise. We countered on August 7th with a 4% the first year, 3% the second year, 3% the third year. Our counter is that the district shall provide a 2% base salary increase each year of the agreement, 25 through 28. If the state funded salary allocation increases fall below 1.25% in school years 27 or 28, the parties agree to reopen salary negotiations for that year. Similarly, if state funded increases exceed 2.25%, the parties also agree to reopen salary negotiations for that year.
So does this include the TSIA money?
Yes. It includes the 0.54%.
All right.
I have some other remaining questions that you had.
Okay.
This relates to proposal number 32 regarding the cameras in the ESE classroom. So I checked around, it would, the cameras, there are a few of them that they're currently looking at, haven't come to a consensus, so I don't know the cost per camera. But the money regarding payment of this would come from capital.
So,
You're gonna kill me, Anthony. My thing's heart rate high, you're resting. Why is your heart rate so high?
so you don't know the cost
I
exactly?
don't know the cost and I
All
don't
right.
know the number of classrooms, Anthony.
All right. So that is definitely something that we would need. And we've had some preliminary conversations with the members about this, which, you know, is a big deal, but we are giving it, like we should, full consideration like we do for all your proposals. And one of the concerns that I've heard from several teachers is you guys said there will be no audio on these cameras.
Correct.
They are actually concerned that there would be no audio on these cameras.
They want audio?
They want audio because our teachers who teach students with disabilities feel like you're not getting the full picture without the audio. And, you know, if we're talking about police and body cams, they have audio on there. So when you cost this out, can you cost having
Yeah,
some
I
kind of
certainly
audio
I will let them
component?
know.
And I'm not saying we're agreeing to
No,
that.
I
I'm
know.
just saying these are the questions that they're asking me.
We passed that because we thought that would be an issue, but if it's not an issue, we can absolutely do that.
But I would need to let them know because the cameras that they might be looking at
Yes.
do not currently have the audio.
And definitely we want to know the cost.
Yeah,
for
and I
this.
don't know the number of classrooms as well. You also asked about the millage MOU. You had some questions regarding verification of experience.
Mhm.
So I looked at the MOU, and it actually says in the MOU that prior to December 21st, 2026, all teachers will have the opportunity to review their years of experience and years of service and provide verification of experience for outside years not submitted. Additional years of experience must be submitted by March 10th, 2027. So that's for our current employees. We do that every year. If it's a new teacher coming in, we give them until October 31st to get their verification of experience in and their millage.
So that would be in the new agreement,
Regarding new teachers,
the whole thing, because I think all it said right there was that piece about on the initial verification, right? We gave them till March. Hold on, let me hold that up.
So Rosemary, just real quick, so a new teacher comes in from out of the district, you're giving them until the end of October to verify it, and then it kicks in, right? So, but then if it's somebody that's been here for a while.
they, prior to December 21st, 2026, all teachers have the opportunity to review their experience. I mean, we give
Okay.
them a list of their experience, what we have listed.
Yeah.
And then they have until March 10th of the following year to make sure that their VOEs are updated.
And so when will do they immediately start collecting the pay, the next check? Or is it, if I'm not mistaken, it was then paid out in a lump sum over the summer?
Are you talking about the existing teachers?
The ones who were late with their verification. Like, I'm sorry, I can't find this in all these proposals, so.
I'll give you this one. It's highlighted, so you can see. I'm sorry, I want to make sure I understand the question.
Yeah, so I'll tell you, once again, what I'm really trying to get at is there is a procedure for late hires, right?
Mhm.
They know how long they have to get it, to get their verification of experience. So if they verify their years of experience by X date, they start getting paid on this date. Or is it no, because you verified late in the year, you get it at the end in a lump sum? And then also for our current employees who maybe realize I never verified this, is it the same exact procedure for them? Just want that spelled out so we can explain it.
I will make sure about the lump sum. I want to make sure that I get the correct information. I just wanted to give you the dates for
Yeah,
that.
so, because how you have this written too, is, this is a 4-year agreement, right? And so this just says prior to December 21st, 26, right?
Let me find out when, I know, there's a timeline that they send out the forms.
Isn't that what we agreed to last time, though, if I remember right? Because I remember talking with Kyle, is like, we want to give people the opportunity, but I don't want to do it every single year. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if I gave you a year to get your stuff done and you still didn't do it, then it's not that important to you. Is that a fair statement?
So here's the thing, like when we initially started it, we did like a huge blast to everybody,
right.
like, hey, don't forget, you got to do this. And we're kind of like, if you miss this,
right,
you're not, you know.
And we extended that a couple times too.
I'm not sure, but maybe. And then what we said after that is if you missed that, and then you could verify by the start of the next school year, right? Like,
There's got to be like some sort of cutoff.
I'm not even arguing about the cutoffs. I just wanted
something in writing.
Something in writing.
Gotcha.
I'll find out what their timeline that they use to send that out. And then I do know that we give new teachers till October 31st, and I'll find out.
Yeah, I just
when's our next bargaining? I kind of need that today because we got to get it across the street to get on the ballot.
Well, I don't think that's got to be done today, but also I'm curious about some other things too. If you guys could refresh my memory, so 80% of the millage is going to compensation, right? What's the breakdown for the rest?
69%.
No, I mean not for a BFT unit. I'm saying where's the other 20% going?
16% is programs, 4% is technology. And by technology, it's upgrading classroom, future type stuff. It's not like, new cameras. It's not that stuff. It's classroom.
21st century.
21st century modernized classrooms.
Yeah. Like all the Promethean boards.
All the Promethean boards, anything that teachers need in the classrooms to do their job.
Okay. So if you can get us the proposal with those dates in there. Also, I just reached out to the school counselor. They are getting their master's pay. I'm looking at their pay stub. It's in there. So I think there's some confusion about what.
I'm gonna write the name down.
It's on camera. I don't know.
I'll write it down for you.
So, I mean, we really think it's urgent that we come to an agreement about the psychologist pay. And then of course, the counter you guys gave us on the advanced degree language, it's related to that as well.
Yes. Do you want to break now, or do you?
What was that, Rosemary?
Do you want to break now?
Yeah, I'm hoping there's no more proposals being passed today.
Did you have any counters for cars?
I gave you the counter to the CTE. I was going back and forth, getting some clarification from Ms. Harris about the Endeavor and Gulfview, and then I think she must have got wrapped up in something.
So she sent me the MOU based on what the last
discussion.
Yes.
Can we look at that?
I'm going to give it to you, so while we break, you can look at it. And I know when
So much wasting.
last.
Yes,
Thank you. And there's just two. I'm sorry.
No, you're okay.
I'm trying to say. You also were going to speak with student services regarding the deaf and hard of hearing and the visually impaired. You said you had some questions about errors. The
Did we
MOUs.
end up signing up? Why did
No.
we leave off on those? Who had the question? Was that you, Nicole? Oh, that was you and Matt were asking, do you have to actually teach it? Because Matt's like, I'm going to get my certification.
When you read the MOU, the way it is currently written, it is read that you just get the certification, the deaf, hard of hearing, and vision MOU.
Okay, are they written the exact same way?
Pretty much, I believe, I don't have it in front of me, but the way we interpreted it is you just get the certification and then you get the $6,200. However, I believe the intent on the district side is you get the certification and get a job in that, and then you get the $6,200. But it's read that just certified, but I don't
It
know.
does read that way on the deaf and hard of hearing, so that can be an easy fix, because I'm sure the intent is that you actually teach the students and you have the certification, because they are the ones that need you. All right, I'll go back and look and make sure.
I did have a follow-up question. Is there a way to reward the current, now, I have to admit self-interest here, is because my wife teaches deaf, hard of hearing, but is there a way to reward the current people that are filling those very necessary jobs?
What do you mean?
Like, we're obviously at a deficit with trying to get people in those visually impaired and
So
deaf.
visually impaired, we're getting the supplement last year. This is the same MOU that was passed.
I'm just saying, if we're gonna pay $6,000 or whatever the supplement is to get new teachers certified, we may wanna also think about how to reward and keep the people that are already holding the fort down.
Gotcha.
Do they not get something?
We didn't have the deaf and hard of hearing sign last year.
There was some
It came at the very,
discussion about putting them in that $6,200
okay.
bucket too. You, you know, it's different for these folks that I call our quasi-medical folks, because we're not just competing with school districts, we're competing with private practice. So their comparables are not just the other school districts.
So I will reach out, Matt, and see what I can find out. I don't think Melissa's the right person for that in student services.
Can we make sure we actually all come back to talk at like 4:15? Can we do a time certain? Okay.
15, we will be back.
All right. Thank you.
I wonder if I should just pause this now, because there's going to be a huge gap.
Yeah, it's always on.
I'll just start a new session when we come back.